What's up, guys? We're back. It is episode 5 of the MonkeyGames Lounge. I am the monkey, as they call me. I don't know why, but I'm here with Ramses. Ramses, say hello.
Hey, it's me, back again from my tomb. Hopefully with slightly better audio quality. I don't know, we'll find out later.
It is. It does sound slightly better, so I'm happy about that. We're constantly improving, right? We are a show that is never satisfied with the previous episode. We are always trying to put another notch on top in the next one. So here we are. Improved audio for this week. But we're back. We have a lot to talk about. We have I at least have a whole bunch of subjects that I brought to the podcast and that I want to talk to Ramses about. But I think last time I started, so if I'm not mistaken, I think this time it is Ramses' turn to start. So if you have a story you want to put forward, let's go. I'm hyped.
It's the fan favorite starting out the first time. Everybody loves when I start out first. Do a poll? Yep, I was correct. Anyway, I want to start out with a fun, short story because there was really only 3 big stories to talk about this week. So my fun short story is everyone's favorite game, Highguard, has, of course, officially shut down on March 18th, which is 2 days ago from the recording of this podcast. However, GameStop and Kotaku have reported via Reddit, really, because people are posting on the Highguard subreddit, because apparently the game has a subreddit. I don't know. I was never demented enough to join it. But yeah, no, people are getting refunds after Highguard shut down. And yeah, I just wanted to say the final update for this beautiful game. Jeff Keighley is curled up, crying that his favorite game has now officially shut down. I'm sure he was a huge fan of Gage. That's one of the characters' name, I believe. He was just a Gage main, a Gage head, if you will.
Yes,
That's what they called him in the community. And what a strange game, another Concord. Like, I saw people also comparing that this game lived for, I believe, 3.5 Concords is how long this game was. And yeah, what a strange little game, what a strange little story. I will say that this game was most definitely going to fail with or without Jeff, really. I think that actually Jeff gave it an even higher chance of success. And the truth is the game floundered. If you have 100,000 players, there was no way they were going to even get, in my opinion, 1,000 players without Jeff's help. So yeah, just a cute. I mean, it's sad because the studio's shutting down and everyone lost their job. But a fun little side
fun little nugget where lots of people lost their job.
Just laugh about people's pain and loss of job, and loss of income. But
we love that. Now, anyway. I heard this too, obviously. I mean, what is it, 6 weeks? Was it running 6 weeks, 1.5 months or something like that? Now, you said it was the refunds, which is obviously, in my opinion, the most important part, right? If you get people to pre-order or to buy a game and then you shut it down after 6 weeks, it should be absolutely mandatory that you refund every single person. And also, if you bought in-game stuff, any transactions, that should all be refunded. Because, come on, man, you can't do this. That would be criminal, in my opinion, otherwise. So you said they announced this via Reddit. Is this not unusual? Because normally, obviously, the company would announce that proudly, right? They would say,
They didn't. No. The company didn't announce it. Highguard gamers, Highguardarians, if you will, the Highguardarians. They got people just woke up to a random email on the 17th of March informing them that they will be refunded for the game and any skins or stuff they spent on the game. And so people on the Reddit were like, hey guys, did you get a refund? Like, yeah, I got a refund. So that's really how. There was no really official announcement.
Okay, fair enough. But it definitely happened. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, all right. I mean, at least they did it, and I mean, it is somewhat honorable to not make a big fuss of it, right? And to make it a public promotion or a marketing thing, like, look, we're refunding everyone to save your face or something.
Why do you think that's why? Because I was actually super curious on why they would refund it, especially if it is allegedly a small studio. If I remember correctly as well, Tencent had some kind of stock in the game studio. So, but I am interested to know why they would even refund it. Maybe it's something legal. I would suspect. Because I don't know. I mean, what are you trying to save the PR of a dead game studio? So that's why I suspect it's probably something legal.
Yeah. No, I think so too, and I think that's also why they didn't announce it, didn't make a big thing of it, because what are you doing PR for? It's done. It's over.
Hold on. I think I figured it out. It's most definitely a tax thing. I think if they refund it, then you can probably write it as a tax write-off and you get a huge tax discount. That's what I think it is.
That must be it. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Fair enough. It is sad. I mean, to be honest, the Highguard story is somewhat emblematic, I think, for a lot of stories that are going to come. We had Concord.
True.
I think this is going to happen more and more because we spoke about this before, but like we can see this insular, that's not a word, like we can see very insular behavior with gamers. Loads of gamers are out there, but they all just play very few games. And sure, there might be small bubble that can sustain maybe a single individual developer or something. But if you're a small studio and you put a bunch of years into a game and then it fails like Highguard, I mean, that's it. And the risk is increasingly high. So that's why I see people on Twitter all the time like, look here, me and my friends, we quit all our jobs. We're doing this game now that's going to come on Steam. And it's clearly like an indie game. Look, I really admire the entrepreneurship and the spirit these people have where they're like, we're going to put it all on one card now. This game has to kind of be great. But dude, like, how can you even do this in such an oversaturated space like games? Unless you really have nothing else to do, you just take 4 or 5 years off. You don't need to worry about money. Sure, make a video game. But if you want it to be profitable, I mean, it is like playing lottery. How many games do come out on Steam every day?
Yeah. To
have that 1 or 2 games that actually explode and get popular, like it's a chance 1 in 50,000 probably or more, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
So, game development is kind of messed up. But no, it's good you're given this kind of thing. But actually that somewhat leads seamlessly almost into my second story that I wanted to talk about. Unless you had anything you wanted to add to the Highguard story.
No, that's it. That's really all I wanted to add. The final nail in the coffin for a very strange game. And, I wish Jeff Keighley the best. I'll be sending him some rose and chocolate so he gets over, he's on his period now. So good luck, Jeff.
I predict this year alone 2 more games like this. 2 more games will come out this year that will be like, it's going to be a big deal. And IGN says 8 out of 10, and it just bombs in 6 weeks. They shut it down. 2 more this year. This is going to be a regular occurrence. It's my prediction. But anyway, so kind of seamlessly leading into this, I was thinking about this the other day because, some of you may know this, but I study like design stuff, and I'm a little bit in the design world, and I do like 3D rendering. So when I graduated, we did this graduation show, and there was this one girl that I studied with, and her boyfriend was a video game developer, right? And obviously I spoke to her about video games and stuff, and she was trying to get me in touch with him. She was like, here, this is my boyfriend. He's in video games. I believe, actually, without spoiling it or anything, he worked for Codemasters, right? In the south of London there at the time. They might have closed now. But there was like a big, in Guildford, I think, was like a big Codemaster studio. And he was working there in whatever capacity. We don't need to go into detail. So I had this conversation with him. And I was not very good at 3D modeling at the time. So I think probably he looked at my work and he was like, yeah, that's not good enough for gaming and detail asset modeling and stuff. So I never got into it. But I was close. At the time to getting into this gaming industry, and I would probably be some kind of environment artist or the artist director for this kind of game type of thing now. And I got into another branch, right? I'm in a different branch of creative work now. And I was just thinking back on this because I'm so happy that I didn't do this, dude. I am so happy now.
I was just gonna say, you dodged the bullet. Yeah.
It really dodged the bullet because obviously when you come from university, you're like, damn, I'm going right into video games. This is gonna be great, and now you work for Activision or some big company. Oh. But dude, so I want to show a little clip, right? That's why I'm sharing my screen as well. So here is, what's his name again? You knew his name earlier.
Jeff Kaplan?
Jeff Kaplan. I think it's Jeff Kaplan, right? Working for Activision Blizzard. He's a Blizzard guy, basically. And he talks...
Well, formerly, no?
Yeah, formerly. You're right. I should have said that. So he talks about some of the stuff that happened while he was there and some of the things that went on behind the scenes in these studios. And again, just briefly, we know about some of the stories, especially Activision and Blizzard. They had walkouts, must be 4 or 5 years ago now, something like that, where people were walking out of a hardcore crunch and horrible conditions, right? We know these things exist. Not just at Activision Blizzard, across the whole industry, we had walkouts. We don't even need to talk about harassment and this frat boy culture. Like, it's an ongoing thing. So here is Kaplan saying the following. Check this out.
And what it boiled down for me, like what sort of ultimately broke me in my Blizzard career was I got called in the CFO's office And he sits me down and he says, he gives me a date, which at the time was 2020 and was going to slip to 2021, but at the time it was 2020. And he said, Overwatch has to make in 2020. And then every year after that, it needs a recurring revenue. And then he says to me, if it doesn't do $, we're going to lay off 1,000 people, and that's going to be on you.
Dude. What a wonderful work environment.
Dude, I mean, holy Jesus Christ.
So heartless, so distasteful. Fuck you, man.
And I have no doubt that happened exactly how he described it here. This is, I mean, I wasn't there, but this is exactly what happens. Dude, I mean, this is blackmailing, right? This is blackmailing.
Yeah.
He's putting so much pressure. And we all know already at the time, what he said, 2020 this was, right? Around that time.
Yeah.
We already know that Overwatch, that wasn't the big hype time for Overwatch. It's not that everyone was hyped about Overwatch. So they're like, every year we got to increase this revenue. And it's like these people sitting in their expensive offices with their 4, 6, 20 million bonuses a year, right? And they have no idea what they're doing. And all they do is look at spreadsheets and they're like, this, what is it called again? Overglow. Oh, no, Overwatch. Yeah, that thing, that needs to make so much more. Just put some boobs or some cosmetics in it, And it is so detached from reality. And like you said, what a lovely work environment. Absolute insanity, right? This is absolute insanity. On one hand, I'm super happy that I worked in crunch environments as well, but not in everyone was nice at least. While you were crunching, everyone was nice. But this is like the toxicity of this. And it also paints a picture of how he describes it here, that it goes from the very bottom, right, where when you sit there and you're just the intern or whatever, you get harassed by some frat boy kids, up to the top, right, where the CEOs basically torture the creative directors and put these unrealistic expectations on them just to push numbers. I mean, holy shit. I think, again, I spent the last 25 years or whatever in a similar creative industry, but by no means is it as toxic. I mean, there were a few moments, but not even close to this. So I think there's like a thing within video games. Now, I don't know why. Is it because video games are so cool?
I was literally...
Right? What is it?
Yeah, I was literally gonna say it's so interesting because the more you read about the inner workings of how video games are developed, the less I ever wanna support or engage in it really puts you in the mindset of who on earth would want to work in this industry. It's so grueling and it's so unnecessarily I don't know, maybe it's from our point of view it's unnecessary, but is it really necessary? I feel like it's super common in the video games industry to get these horror stories of people missing out on their kids growing up for this game. And I think what he said in the clip, I believe, is it's not that this was around 2020. He showed a sheet of 2020 onwards. So the deadline was 2020 and 2022 probably. I don't know. And he said you have to make this much money by this amount of time or else we're laying off 1,000 people. So, and I guess to just go slightly further. Do you have something to say or?
No. Okay. You run with it. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so the thing also I want to say, so this is from a fucking 5.5 hour Lex Friedman podcast episode, and listen, bro, I saw this and I was like, no fucking way, and am I gonna withstand 5.5 hours of Lex Friedman? By the way, in that clip, he looks like he just ran a marathon. He looked like he was about to fall asleep. He's just looking away, just barely staying awake. There's only so much Zen and Adderall can do, you know what I'm saying? So he's just looking away, he's all tired-eyed. The dude probably, it sounds like he's probably speaking hieroglyphics at him. He's so tired. But anyway.
Poor Lex Friedman. I mean, he's not a, whatever. He's not a terrible guy.
No. He's such a, there's so many embarrassing things. He had this whatever. He literally sang to Joe Rogan this the most homoerotic, non-gay shit I have ever seen in my life. Hey man, Monkey, I want this recorded on the podcast. Monkey, if I ever sing to another man about how cool he is unironically, shoot me in the fucking head, dude. Please just do it. Just end me, man. It's over. I don't want to come back. Anyway.
All right, fair enough.
So this interview is actually, it's so sad because it's just Jeff Kaplan being like, this great company that I spent so much. And by the way, Jeff Kaplan isn't just some. I mean, anyone, friend of the show, Mebby and Winnie, who are big Overwatch heads, they knew who Jeff Kaplan is. This dude was very known in the community, and I even knew who Jeff Kaplan was, and I don't even play Overwatch. He was the guy that any big update was there. He was kind of the face of it. At least that's the feeling that I got. Super important Overwatch's development, and this whole interview is honestly great. I hate that Lex Friedman did it, but he talks about how Overwatch 2, he thought it was a mistake, and I think that specific conversation where he's asked to make that amount of money in that amount of time was specifically about Overwatch 2, and he just describes just the inhumane treatment that he got, like that just got worse and worse over at Activision Blizzard. And by inhumane, I just mean that they whittle these people down. They really do view them just as variables in a spreadsheet. And I just, like, any kind of, like, and I think this is further, you take this further in, like, a larger conversation about the corporatization of game studios. You know, Bungie was super famous for this, like, informal, culture that they had going on. And I feel like these game studios, especially the legacy ones, like Bungie, like Bethesda, maybe BioWare to a degree, these smaller studios of just, 100 or a couple hundred people, when they just balloon to thousands and thousands, like, especially at least in Bethesda's instance, they just get worse and worse and more corporatized and more inhumane, because now, the Kendrick Lamar song, the final diss, whatever, to Drake, he says, you're signed to this dude, that's signed to this dude, that's signed to that dude. Like, when you just become this, like, human centipede or corporate centipede, where you're just having 13 different, like, executives to report to, it's so miserable, and it's such an endemic problem, which is why I think, I've had some talks privately with my pals and a lot of people who have played what's the game that swept the Game Awards, or Expedition 33, and everyone was kind of in agreement that the game is actually kind of mid, not gonna lie. But I'm happy that it swept the Game Awards, because I hope it sends, like, a certain message to these game studios. Obviously, the bigger message will always be, like, making money. But maybe smaller studios with smaller games that are more focused, immediate experiences are definitely better than these extremely bloated, extremely monetized, things like Overwatch 2. And it really sucks. I was really sad for Jeff Kaplan, honestly.
I mean, we see it in other things as well, like Ubisoft, I guess, another example, these hardcore over-corporatization, but even Bethesda, all of it, Microsoft. And I think, to be honest, it's a little bit the curse of the games industry. And I think you made a very interesting point there as well, why it is like that in the games industry and not in other comparable creative industries. And I tell you why. So with games, ultimately the story is, and if you go back to the 90s, it's like it's a hobby that then became the most profitable entertainment industry in the world. So people, if you look at the images, how Doom was created, right? Like Carmack and his guy sitting in some office building somewhere in Dallas, like the cheapest little industrial park. They didn't plan on making big money there, right? It was just a bunch of guys trying to make the best game they could and push the boundaries. So that's where it comes from. It comes from these small indie studios, but then they grow bigger and bigger, and we see whether it is Activision or whether it is EA or Microsoft and their studios growing, and they become these massive entities. And then obviously you do need to hire corporate people. You can't run a corporation without corporate. I mean, maybe you can, but that's very risky. So, of course, inevitably, as a corporation, as an entity that grows so much, you need to hire corporate people. But then they are so good at what they're doing, they take it over. They invade the system from the inside. And it took, I would say, it probably wasn't always like that. It took 20 years, maybe 25 years, but now we are at the point where it's completely in the hands of these corporate overlords. You're right, and the only good games we get now is from smaller indie studios, that then maybe get signed to a bigger publisher, but still small studios making money. And that's why it's like this, or we get this behavior in the corporate, in the video game industry, because it was corporatized on the back of it being a fun thing that people like to do. Unlike, for example, marketing. Marketing always was corporate. It comes from a corporate point. You know what I mean? It's a corporate entity, basically. The idea of marketing and advertising. So that was always aligned, but it's this realignment that happened from, hey, we're having fun and making a cool game, to we're a $60 trillion corporation. Like, that transition is, I think, what turned it into this weird, toxic corporate clash of interests, basically. That's what it is, and that's why we see so many games now not being great or coming out and under-delivering or just being a stale refit of something we've played before. It's that lack of that motivation that I'm describing that comes and falls out of all this change and this corporatization. You can't make a game if people, like you can see it in Ubisoft, they're not just there. All these big entities, EA and stuff, they're completely creatively bankrupt. And I mean, you think we're still getting one good big Bethesda game? I even have my doubts there. I don't think that's going to happen, but yeah.
You have to believe, man. You have to believe in the heart of the cards, man. If Yu-Gi-Oh taught me one thing, it's that impossible odds can be overcome by gambling. That's what Yu-Gi-Oh taught me. So I have to gamble, bro. I have to. I believe in you, Todd.
That's the one where you have to collect them all, right? I'm joking.
No, it's
Pokemon. A dad joke. I'm making a dad joke. Come on. I know that, dude. I have kids. Fair. I have 11-year-old kids. They collect them all. Okay, I know it.
No kid is watching Yu-Gi-Oh now. They're watching, I don't know, some YouTube schlop. No one's ever watching Cartoon Network anymore.
No, they watch Pokemon, but yeah, nobody watches Yu-Gi-Oh. That's just for losers. I'll leave that standing in the room.
Yeah, exactly. I know a lot of middle-aged men who'd be very mad at you right now.
That's fine. Smash like on this podcast if you're a huge Yu-Gi-Oh fan. But anyway, that's basically it. I just wanted to have this little segment. It's not really a video game news, but I felt like
it is to a degree.
The state
Jeff Kaplan is a video games guy.
Yeah, and the state of the state of the working environments that are happening in these studios. You know what I mean? Like it's just something we don't discuss enough, I feel. And that also doesn't get enough, because the other thing, just kind of on a closing note there, I guess, like the pressure that a lot of these people have. Now everyone gets laid off. We know this every other week. It's like another 3,000 people let go from this and that studio. Yeah. So the pressure that these people have, here they are. They have a job in video games. Obviously, that's their career, right? They worked in another studio before. They studied some video modeling thing. So they don't want to change careers, and it's hard to get jobs. So you can be sure that these corporations, they're exploiting them to the max, because they know they can't just say, dude, if I have to work every night till midnight, I'll go somewhere else. They can't, because it's so difficult to find a new job. So I do not even want to know what's currently happening in these studios. And it's terrible, man. I feel for these people. I really feel.
Yeah, same.
It's so sad, man. It's sad. Because it could be a fun job. And then, as a final twist, maybe there is a little bit hope there, actually. Maybe not. In AI. Because if you have these, like, let's just say, boy. Okay, here we go. Okay, this is controversial. I'm not downvoted.
Controversial opinion. Yeah, controversial opinion.
This is what this is all about. Okay, this is a controversial podcast. But if you have...
Leave a comment if you disagree.
I haven't even said it. How can they disagree? They're already hating.
I know. Yeah, but it's gamers, bro. They disagree already.
That is
anyway,
true.
Go on.
So if game developers, environment artists, right, especially environment artists, get tools to their hand that let them create assets much quicker, right, where you don't have to say, oh, okay, so this is a wicker basket. Let me create a texture for the wicker basket. No, you say, make it a wicker basket. Done. Make it slightly darker. Oh, done. Make it look slightly more used. Done. Okay, now you have a wicker basket. That took you 40 seconds rather than an hour to texture that wicker basket. So workflows get faster. Results get achieved faster as well by environment artists. And with that, hopefully, and this is probably where my naive opinion comes in, they have better workflows, and with that, like, more time to themselves, because they finish quicker, they get more done. But then again, they're just gonna you're making 2 games now in the time of 1.
Yes, precisely. I was literally about to say, but the timeline is only gonna get shorter. It's like, oh, you can make it quicker. Mm-hmm. Great. There's a great quote: when you the reward of finishing your work early is more work.
Yes.
That's how it comes. So
yeah, 100%. And I mean,
but it's a good.
That's why I feel so privileged. I can work from home. When I'm finished, because nobody sees what I do on my screen, right? Yeah, Don't tell anyone, but I'm basically done with my work for today already, right? And it's 2 or even before the podcast, 2 o'clock now. So I'm a bit early, but you're right. If you're in an office, it's exactly that. You work fast, you get more. It sucks. It's horrible, the state of the video games industry. I don't think it will ever really change. And for video game developers and environment artists and designers and stuff, the choice is really you go into the corporate monster hell, work like hell, but at least it's a safe paycheck, or you join some small indie studio and maybe you don't even get paid because they run out of funding. So I'm so happy I never joined the video game industry. That's it. That's the final word on this. Yeah. Anyway, That's that.
Oh man, so miserable. But it's a good thing that we're talking about big gaming companies and AI, because probably the biggest story,
Yeah, here we go.
other than Jeff Kaplan, is, ladies and gentlemen, on the 16th of March, or 17th probably, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, NVIDIA GeForce, NVIDIA, the huge game corporation, and it's on its official NVIDIA GeForce YouTube channel, which it's impossible for me to not think about the Gerbils movie, GeForce, every time I think about this.
Yes.
But yeah, they announced / showcase DLSS 5.
That's what they did.
Which is how can I describe this? Well, it literally looks like they're putting games through an AI filter. That to me, it literally just looks like all it's doing is just changing the lighting, adding some light and shadows, upping the contrast, and then making the characters
look like Amber Heard. Did you notice this?
Yeah, look like Amber Heard. Yeah, the term I have seen is yassified. They have made the characters. They've given them they look like they can be on RuPaul's Drag Race. They've made all the women hotter and all the men more muscular.
Yes.
And it's got this beautiful, blurry, janky, kind of hard to see. It looks like you got water in your eyes filter over it because it's AI upscaling these images. The like to dislike ratio on this video, okay, 17,000 likes to 94,000 dislikes. That is a rate of 84% negative as of the recording of this podcast, which is March 20th. So yeah, obviously this kicked off a whole new meme format of DLSS on and off. Yeah. That was hilarious. I saw Kratos looking very interesting, to say the least. They pinned a comment on that YouTube video where they said the following. Important note with this technology advance, right? Game developers have full, detailed artistic control over DLSS 5's effect to ensure they maintain their game's unique aesthetic. SDK includes things like intensity, color grading, and masking off places where the effect shouldn't be applied. It's not a filter. Okay, DLSS 5 inputs the game's color and motion vectors for each frame into the model, anchoring the output in source 3D content. I don't know. I don't give a fuck. I'm not a huge guy, but a huge tech guy. But to follow up, I'll just finish it entirely. Is that Digital Foundry released a video this same day that this video released March 16th as well. And dude, they sucked the ever-living dick out of this, bro. It was insane. That video has 28,000 likes to 74 dislikes, 72% negative. They literally filmed this on, like, they had a camera and then they had a TV, and they like literally like it's like 2008 and like a child doesn't know how to film. It's probably because NVIDIA didn't allow them to record directly, probably because they don't want to show you just how wonky everything is yet. But when Digital Foundry had this like preview in NVIDIA's office, they were sucking, NVIDIA's dick to the core. But to me, like, they were talking, there's this point, hold on, at 8:30, the Digital Foundry video was hosted by Richard Ledbetter, and honestly, you should have led better by not doing this. But and then Oliver McKenzie. There's a point where Oliver McKenzie literally says, "Looks a little uncanny, but overall portrayal is much more sophisticated." I have no fucking clue that is such word salad. Like, oh yeah, it looks better, but it also looks off. Like, what the fuck do you mean? Like, ugh. Anyway, yeah. So they played this like in real time. However, to even get this to work, NVIDIA had two RTX 590s. One 590 was running the DLSS, and the other was running like the game, and they were playing like Oblivion Remastered on it. Now, obviously, the goal is to get this to run on a single GPU, which is interesting. It's probably going to be the next generation, though, because which immediately comes to mind, like, how expensive this is going to be, because 590s are already between, like, if you're super lucky, you can find one for like 2,000, but most of them are between like 3.5 to even 5,000. So this is just going to be ridiculously expensive. Nobody asked for this as well, and all the comments on the Digital Foundry video are all like, politely or passive aggressively shitting on their views. One guy said something like, "Oh, finally, all my video games can look like exactly how I imagine them, like Instagram AI ads." And yeah, it's apparently at 418, Ledbetter talks about how Todd Howard personally okayed this. Like, he was totally fine. He greenlit this. He liked this idea because specifically Starfield is what he was referring. He's like, this is how Starfield was always meant to look.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, no. Todd, sure, whatever, man. And then literally a day after that, on March 17th, the NVIDIA CEO, Jensen Huang, was at a Tom's Hardware press event. And the editor-in-chief of Tom's Hardware, Paul Alcorn, asked him, so how do you feel about the criticism? Because the criticism was just constantly negative. And Huang said, and I quote, well, first of all, they're completely wrong, which is a great way to start off a reply. Can I just say that? Great way to start off a reply. So yeah, they're completely wrong. The reason for that is because, as I have explained very carefully, DLSS 5 fuses controllability of the geometry and textures and everything about the game with generative AI. Whatever. Random fucking bullshit. Who cares? No one understands. And then further, he went to say, it's not post-processing. It's not post-processing at the frame level. It's generative control at the geometry level. Now, this sounds like some shit, end quote. But this sounds like some shit if you went to, like, dudes who read the future, who read your tarot cards, this is some shit they would say. Like, it's on a geometry level. I'm feeling like Jupiter's really mad at you right now. I don't know. This literally... Tech reaches a point where it literally just starts to sound like horoscopes for men, you know? And yeah, so this whole shtick that they're running on is they put an AI filter over your favorite games to make everyone look like, they're performing at your favorite gay bar. Nobody wanted this. No one liked this, apparently, except for Todd Howard, apparently, and everyone over at Digital Foundry who were like, this is absolute. Oh, there's a point in this video. Okay, at 8:40. In this Digital Foundry video, right? They're showing Assassin's Creed Shadows, and again, it's literally a camera that's recording a TV, so you can barely see fucking anything. And I think it was it was Oliver Mackenzie who's like, as you can see here, like they're on like, I don't know, they're about to synchronize, so they have this like huge environmental like scene. And then Oliver Mackenzie goes, as you can see here, the change is radical. And it literally looks like they just went into the setting and just upped the brightness, like ridiculously, like obnoxiously high. Like, and they were talking about like, oh, as you can see here, there's some things that work out, but it's really, really impressive. And I'm like, sure, maybe on like a sheer technology perspective, it is impressive. But on a literally everything else perspective, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Like, I don't want to play dudes who look like they could be in Fortnite. Like, that's what they all look like to me. They look like upscaled Fortnite characters. But yeah, the best thing is just the memes that came out of this. Yet another solution in search of a problem situation. Yeah. NVIDIA just can't stop winning, apparently. Everything they do, everything costs $1 billion trillion now, and other than, keeping the United States economy alive, they need to be real busy trying to justify, their $1 trillion investment into a technology that really is just Cortana or Clippy, really. They just invested $1 trillion into Clippy. Yeah. But yeah, so what do you think? Have you seen this at all? Have you seen any?
So first of all, I want to say I've predicted this in a video here on MonkeyGames about a year ago. I've done a video on this channel where I show exactly this. At that time, it was still like it takes time to process, right? So you need to feed gameplay footage into an AI. It would not be happening in real time, but I predicted 1 year ago that this is gonna come. I did not expect it to come this quickly, to be honest. I mean, to be honest, we don't have a release date for DLSS 5, but it's coming.
Fall of this year.
Oh, okay.
Fall of this year, apparently.
Okay, fair enough. So that's crazy. So that's the first thing. I saw this coming from a mile away. It had to happen. Now, one thing that has to be mentioned is the uproar and the rebellious behavior of people online, right? Like, people are really upset about this announcement and how it looks, is that they're basically saying it changes the whole game. And I think specifically the characters, right? Like, I saw a lot of people being very upset about the characters, and rightly so. Like I said earlier, like, it makes everyone look like freaking Amber Heard. It's the weirdest thing, right? But at the same time, as someone was saying on Twitter, like, if this would have been like, I don't know, without AI, some kind of next-gen thing, people would have lost their mind. I think it's a thin line to walk here. There's definitely something interesting here, because what this really does is it lifts it lifts gaming into a new level of photorealism, right? It really does. So I'm not hateful against the technology itself. Let's say, for example, a game studio makes a game that only works with this technology in it. Everything they do is controlled in that technology, and they get these photorealistic results. I'm fine with that. Why not? Use it, base your game on it, and that's it. But the problem comes in with stuff like this here. Let me show you. I'm putting it on screen now for everyone to see. So this example here of Hogwarts Legacy, I think this is supposed to be a 13-year-old boy, right? The character you see here. Look at him once AI is done with him. He looks like a mid-30s. Like it's
he looks like someone who he looks like someone who worked in IGN in 2014.
So he looks much older, right? And clearly AI is not capable of understanding. And that's why it's so interesting when you say, here they are now, they're rowing back. They're actually like, yeah, no, we have complete control, creative control, right? We can totally mask off certain areas and control the shadows and lighting and all that. It's like the footage we just saw shows me you don't have complete control because all the faces specifically look like completely different people. And people are like, dude, if I play, I don't know, an old Resident Evil game, I don't want my main character to look like a different. I want him to be that guy. You know, I want Duke Nukem to look like Duke Nukem and not like some other weird AI guy that looks similar, like Timo Duke Nukem, right? So I think that's why a lot of people are upset. However, it has to be said, and I'm convinced by this, this is the future of gaming. People will hate it, people will get upset about it, people will try to fight it, but in the foreseeable future, and I'm talking about the next 10, 12, 15 years, whatever, we're going to see this. Because, yes, you have a lot of processing power over on the AI side, right? It's very powerful, but it will allow you to potentially keep all the models extremely low res. Keep the models low res and then go in with AI enhancement. If you can really control it, right? You can control it like a 3D engine, so you get consistent results. And this will happen eventually. It's too much money to be made for this not to happen. So we're going to get these AI 3D engines where they can enhance very low-res footage of models, like 3D models, with AI, and it will look photorealistic. It will look photorealistic. So this is the foreseeable future of this industry, I think. Go ahead.
So you're saying this is too big to fail? Okay.
It's visually, it's visually too powerful to fail. It's visually too powerful to fail. Because look how long we've worked with 3D engines. We've never reached that level of photorealism, and probably we never will. This seems to be, unless we go to another 30 years of optimizing shaders, we're never going to get to that level of photorealism. And here we have a key to get to there now. Think about it this way. We were talking before about consoles and how they're going to sell them. What's the big selling point? AI ready. PS6, it's AI ready, dude. So... However, has to be said, at the moment they're getting so much flack. Is this really a positive? Is this really a good selling point to say it's AI ready, considering how much people hate it? That's a different question, I guess.
I mean, at the press conference, the Tom Hardware editor-in-chief, Jensen literally ends his random diatribe by saying, oh, and by the way, you can just turn it off. Which is a very good way to sell people on their product by saying, oh, you could just turn it off, man. Like, you know, which is super convincing, bro. Like, yeah, we made this thing, but if you totally don't want it, like, fuck it, you know, you can just have it. But
yes.
The only thing I would just say is, like, this is just gonna balloon the price of whatever RTX thing that's gonna come out later. I mean, not that people are even gonna be able to afford this, number one. And I think this thing, it is actually such a cool idea that you brought up where you make games low res and maybe you have like some kind of code built in where when the AI then, you know, masks over it, they mask it over in the way like the artist wants it. There's always going to be a limit because AI is kind of a black box. No one really knows how it does stuff. You just kind of like, they do it, but no one really. But yeah, there's always going to be that black box where there's no way you're going to have 100% control ever. You're going to have like, in my opinion, at most 70 to 75%, maybe 80% control. So that's an interesting idea. Maybe will that mean that games will stop being 80 and 120 gigs? No, probably not. I don't know how, but I think game developers will find a way to keep it annoyingly big. But no, I see this more as a VR thing, where VR is it's a big niche. Don't get me wrong. It's a strong niche, especially now. But it's just not a lot of use cases. I mean, what artist would want to give away 20% or 25 or even 30% of their creative control? Like, I've seen just vaguely some headlines about developers just being like, who the fuck would use this? Why would I willingly want like a lack of control in my game? So I don't know. I think they're literally just doing this again to justify their investment into AI, and also as a way just to push the technology forward. Sure, I think it's cool on a technology level, but on everything else level, who wants this? Who asked for this? Like in a time where people can't even afford a simple like PC because RAM prices are so exploding constantly. Here you are. Like, okay, thank you. Everyone's electricity bill and everything's life has gotten actively worse because of AI, and here you are making it even worse when this thing still requires a ton of computing power, and your next, GPU is going to be like, already the current one is unbelievably expensive.
Yeah.
So if the current one is between like $3.5 to $5,000, what's the next one going to be? Are we just going to break, what is it, 5 digits for a single GPU? I mean, it's ridiculous, ridiculous, honestly. So I don't know. I truly don't care for it. I totally see or respect the technology and the thing behind that, but that's really all I have to say. I mean, who asked for this? Again, solution in search of a problem. I don't know. We'll see.
No, you're 100% right. You're 100%. But I mean, part of the problem that they were looking for a solution for is also that they have nothing else to sell us. We've really reached visual peak, and here is a key to like peaking above that peak visually. And let's be honest, loads of game studios at this point, they are about selling us trailers. They just want that killer trailer at the next event and that says all in-game footage and it looks absolutely photorealistic. They want that because they think that sells them games, which is also like a misconception. But like you said, I think the technology is interesting. It's definitely interesting. A big problem is not that we're using it. The big problem is that we are changing old games or existing games. We are taking Lara Croft and we make her look like someone completely different when we know this character from that specific game. So I think going forward, games that already build on this from scratch, right? They incorporate this technology from scratch into it. It will be a whole different thing, and it will be like a premium layer that you can switch on if you have the $2,000 GPU. Otherwise, you just won't see it. But because it is so technology focused, I find it a bit unfair also that everyone shit on the Digital Foundry people. Because, I mean, sure, they are journalists and they should have pushed back a bit harder. I get that. But think about it this way. They are not artists. They are hardcore tech nerds. The technology is all they see. Yeah. They don't even see that there's artists behind it whose vision have been compromised. They just look at it and they're like, this is absolutely stunning technology, right? And then people are like, guys, and they don't even realize that, which is fair. They are focused on technology. They reported on the technology, and the technology is very impressive. It is very impressive, in my opinion. So that's one thing. And then the other thing that I quickly want to say, which was super funny to me as well. This announcement came out, right? NVIDIA tweeted this, and people retweeted it, and it became a piece of news.
Yeah.
And then it got the massive backlash, and immediately they all started to roll back, right? You also showed like the message was like, you can turn it off, guys. You can just turn it off. It's like, sorry, we're so sorry. Here's a little tweet from Bethesda that I found where they replied to someone, right? And they're also like, so they say, I appreciate your excitement and analysis of the new DLSS 5 lighting here. It is a very early look. It's just a very early look, guys.
Don't worry, guys.
No worries at all. And our art teams will be further adjusting the lighting and the final effect to look the way we think works best for each game. This will be all under our artists' control and totally optional for players. So now we've already reached the damage control stage. We instantly, from the announcement, jumped into the damage control stage where we have to come out and basically say, no, it's not AI like that. Not where it does whatever it wants. When, let's be honest, we all know that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. You're not, I mean, you may have some creative control. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I have, like a 4080 Super, and I'm hoping that at least some form of DLSS 5 will run on this card.
No way. No way.
It will be an exclusive new generation
minimum
thing. You think?
No, I think minimum 590. There's no way it's going to run on anything lower. They're running it in the Digital Foundry thing when they went to NVIDIA. They were running it on two 590s.
I know you said
right?
that.
So they were running on literally that. If you say 590s, let's say it's a medium price. Let's say it's $4,000. So it's $8,000, and that's only the GPU on two GPUs, each worth $4,000 each. So that's $8,000 worth of equipment on just two pieces of like hardware just to run this thing. So minimum, at the bare minimum, you have to have a 590, which how many people even have 590s? How many people are even buying GPUs over how expensive they are? So this is like literally, I don't know, this is rich kid gaming shit. This is some kid, the same dudes, the same like, neglected children of millionaires who are watching Kai Cenat or whatever are going to buy this thing and be like, oh, bro, look how cool it is, man. Like, we can make any character look like Michael Jackson in the late 2000s. Isn't that great? I don't know, man. I don't care for it. I don't care.
No, I can see that. I can see it. But I think it's fascinating. I think there's something there. It was very funny to me how Todd Howard tried to sell us Starfield again. With this, he's like it, and like
he's
you
so
said,
desperate. He's so desperate. Guys, please, 25 years in the making. I journaled. Look at my personal journal when I was 15. Told myself, Toddy boy, you're gonna make Fallout in space, and it's gonna be great. Come on. Awesome. By the way, oh my god, I got so heated. But like, it's not a failed game. It has like a concurrent player base of like above 15,000, if I remember correctly.
Is that so? No, really? 15,000?
I think it's not as bad as we want. It's just the modding community, I believe, is just so dead. But no, people are playing it. It's not a dead game. It's at least in like maybe 5,000 or so. It's not a dead game at all.
3,000. Well, okay, 24-hour peak is 5,000. You're right. 5,500 24-hour peak. So it's there. But there also was like, because it was great. Todd Howard came forward and he was like, you guys just wait. Next week we got a huge announcement for Starfield. Yeah. And then this AI thing happened and I was like, is that the new announcement?
It is. Yeah.
It is not.
Really?
Yes. Okay. A day later, they came out and had a whole new announcement. This is not on my list of things I wanted to talk about, but now we might as well.
Yeah, fuck it. Yeah.
Because Starfield has announced a new update. And now I haven't looked too far into it.
They're adding dragons. That's what they're doing.
Yes, and you can be a dragonborn inside the... No, but they're adding more space flight. Apparently, from what I read on Twitter, just little snippets, you can now seamlessly travel from one planet to the other, and they made it all a bit more seamless, and they claim... Let's read it here. This is actually the update. What does it say? Starfield is getting a massive overhaul April 7th. Okay, so it's not that far away. Alongside the PS5 release and a new expansion, Terran Armada. So, free lanes, a massive new update with this main feature being that you can now travel between planets in space with no loading screen, okay? A bit too little too late, I would say. It's like a few years too late, but fair enough. Going into hyperdrive no longer takes you into a loading screen. Instead, you can get up and explore your ship. Okay, it is basically like...
Wow.
I know.
Wow. We've added a new mechanic. You can now drink water. Way to go.
While you're traveling. Imagine all the gameplay fun that will fall out of this. Incredible.
Oh, yeah. I can't, yeah.
There are new POIs, places of interest on planet surfaces, so exploration is no longer repetitive. It's great now. It's totally fun. It's Todd Howard approved. There's a new set of encounters that interrupt your spaceflight, making your act of travel actually interesting now.
Oh, so, fantastic! Because what I love about playing games is being interrupted to the place where I want to go.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Defend yourself. We will steal your loot. Oh my God. Shoot in
my
space.
My favorite parts about Dawnguard when I downloaded it was the random werewolves that I'd run into that would just one-shot me. I agree. Yeah, fantastic. Well done. They really are trying to No Man's Sky this, huh? They really
try. They try. And to be honest, I'm somewhat positive about this because I thought they abandoned it. We knew that they already said Did they say there's no more expansions, paid expansions or something coming for Starfield? So I was like, okay, look, there's nobody even working on it. Todd Howard a while back said that right now the main focus is Elder Scrolls 6. Like he said that.
Yeah.
So I thought they're done. And now they're coming out of the woodworks and they're like, actually, we have a huge update. So then this Terran Armada expansion is a new faction, mainly robots, blah, blah, blah. Radiant quest line, so a bunch of new quests. And I'm like, all this doesn't sound too bad, but it should have been on launch. This is what the game should have been. On launch, we should have been able to seamlessly fly because No Man's Sky at that point already did that since 7 years or 6 years that it's all seamless. So it was embarrassing, and now they come out, and this is obviously part of the PS5 release. But anyway, at least it's not just the AI update. But this is obviously Bethesda and, people like Todd Howard trying to put Starfield back into the limelight. They're pushing now the PS5 version, right? This is their big next thing when that comes in April. By the way, cue the little sample where Sarah Bond says Starfield will be exclusive for Xbox, which she did say.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So great stuff there.
It's fine, man. She's probably on a fishing trip with people. She's not thinking about nothing. You know?
With Phil Spencer.
On a luxury fishing trip in Dubai or some shit. Probably not Dubai. Probably not Dubai anymore.
I don't think they're in Dubai. That's true. But yeah, you're right.
Do you think they airdropped a few Battlefield developers into Dubai to make the game more realistic for Battlefield 7 or no?
To scope the assets and stuff.
Yeah, take live notes of missiles getting fired.
Yeah, that's a great idea. It's a great idea, yeah. That's where they have to be. You know, if you're a game designer for Battlefield, you got to be either there or in Gaza, somewhere where the bombs drop to just do the research. You got to do the research, bro. Anyway. Or in Tel Aviv.
Do we have time?
Tel Aviv. Oh, we're getting political quickly. No, we do have time. We do have time.
Okay.
But to be honest, that was my story as well. Obviously, I wanted to talk about DLSS 5 as well. Like, that was crazy.
I got a story. I got the biggest launch of this week.
I've got one more as well, whatever you want. Okay, you go ahead. No, drop it like it's hot.
All right, very quickly, Crimson Desert, which you, yesterday, when we were DMing, improperly referred to as Crimson Dawn, which is a Star Wars fucking group, like Sith group.
I was testing you.
But anyway.
Testing you.
Yeah, sure, bro. Anyway, this is, Crimson Desert is a single-player game that was supposed to be, okay, just a bit of context. Crimson Desert is a huge fantasy, I guess RPG, but not really, more of an action fantasy game, created by the same developers that made Black Desert Online, a Korean developer. Pearl Abyss is the name of the developer.
Right.
Originally, this game was supposed to be a prequel to Black Desert. Get it? Crimson Desert, Black Desert. They're so creative.
Clever.
Yeah, this was originally supposed to be an MMO, believe it or not, like a prequel to Black Desert. That was also, that they then made into a single-player game. Which I'll get into it later, is actually one of the biggest complaints about this game. So it released literally yesterday, and it currently I saw it has around 24,000 concurrent players from a peak of around I believe 230,000 about, or 240,000. At least that's on Steam charts, so that's not counting consoles at all. It seems interesting. It seems a lot of comparisons with Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Wild, because they have these large sky monuments that you can jump from. The game, I've heard that the first 4 hours to 5 hours is really boring and not fun because it's just tutorials. That's the biggest complaint I've read is tutorials. But a bunch of previews, people have had previews. Inside Games by Bruce Green and Lawrence. Bruce got to play it early. He had a ton of fun with it, and to be fair, Inside Games is definitely a more positive focus. Not very critical, I would say. Critical from time to time, but but he said that it was pretty fun. A lot of comparisons with Breath of the Wild. Map is gigantic. Bruce said it was Bruce Green said it was double Red Dead Redemption 2. And it looks good. If you look up some gameplay, it looks super good and looks interesting. It's definitely an Asian / Far East Asian game. But it's more, I guess, mellowed for the Western audience. Another big complaint I hear is the narrative is non-existent. People don't give a single fuck about the story. Also, people are saying that the voice acting and just overall acting in the game is very over the top and goofy. Bruce tried to spin it off as something funny, but I was like, no, dude, that sounds I don't want something that's gonna actively, because it sounds like it actively takes people out over how goofy and over the top it is. But a lot of praise for the combat complexity of it all. A lot of skill trees. I love skill trees, so I like it. It's really gorgeous looking game. However, I have a lot of Steam reviews. It's currently mixed on Steam, and really the industry or the reviews I've seen, it tends to be generally mixed. Eurogamer gave it a 3.5, 3 out of 5 stars. PC Gamer gave it an 80. The biggest complaint is it's basically same issue with Skyrim. It's very wide but very shallow. It's got all these mechanics that because it's the game literally released yesterday. I don't think it's even been 24 hours. The game's been out. So whether or not the mechanics really come together as one cohesive element, or just there are a whole jumble of things that you can use from here and there. There's also another comparison with Breath of the Wild, is that there's a lot of puzzles. And there's the thing that you the beam that you use to move a cube around or whatever. So yeah, I mean, it looks. The other complaint as well is that it is literally just an MMO map, and you're alone. A lot of people have said there's a lot to do here, like a lot, and a lot of like intertwining systems. A whole bunch of mini games. You can arm wrestle. You can invest in stocks. You can mine. You can cut a tree. I mean, you can raise a child. I mean, I don't know. Like it's one of those games with a whole bunch of mini games one after another. Yeah, so this is probably the most definitely the biggest launch of the week. Probably one of the biggest games of the year. And yeah, people, some crashes for sure. A lot of people have reported crashes. If you're on a higher end system, then it tends to run pretty well. The controls on mouse and keyboard. People have like, and even so, a guy I follow, the name of Mortismal Gaming, who I really respect. I love his reviews and stuff. Even a guy who tends to be like, doesn't really focus on small details that can be easily replaceable. But even he was like, the controls on mouse and keyboard are awful. Like he said that like he really suspects whether a person has ever played on mouse and keyboard who put these keys together. But yeah, that's so far the sentiment. Metacritic, it sits at 78. PC Gamer gave it an 80. PC Gamer said that the title for the review was a game that tries it all, even if it's not always as successful. Eurogamer called the headline was, it's a bit like Prestige Candy Crush because there's just so much to do and so much to run around. But yeah, so overall mixed reception from this pretty big game. And just to give you, in hindsight, Pearl Abyss is a studio of around 1,300 people.
Damn.
And Black Desert Online, sits at, I believe, at mostly positive. Currently, I believe the current reviews are mixed, but overall reviews are mostly positive for Black Desert Online. But yeah, it seems to be this mixed bag with no narrative, just a gameplay focused game.
Yeah.
Nothing about it really interests me.
It's also got like over 60 bosses and stuff. Like it's a huge amount of content.
That's another thing. Like, bosses I've heard are like pretty mid. Either they're unbelievably hard or they're unbelievably easy. There's another like big complaint is it doesn't respect players' time, and that a lot of side quests would be like, you have a bar. Now kill that amount of enemies until the bar is filled up. Like a lot of like, survive for, 2 minutes type gameplay. And the enemies are just constantly respawning. Like it's almost like a Dynasty Warriors thing where you're just killing, like mowing down dudes, which is a gameplay element I really, really hate.
Yeah.
But yeah, so far that's the overall sentiment for now for Crimson Desert.
Yeah, I mean, what's interesting is like the game was super anticipated. Like already months back, I saw people like Crimson Desert is gonna be the greatest game because of the visual fidelity, right? We saw all these gameplay clips and they look so good. And you're right, it does look very, very good. However, apparently, it doesn't look that great on PlayStation. People are complaining that it got a little bit of a downgrade. I had a clip a second ago somewhere. Here, this guy puts it next to each other, and you can clearly see like there's much less fidelity. Top is base PS5, and the bottom is the PC version. So that kind of sucks. But yeah, it looks good. It's interesting. It's ambitious, right? I respect that it's ambitious. So yeah, it's fine. Am I gonna play it? No, I'm not. I look at these games and I'm like, I don't have 120 hours to put into a game like this. Those days are over. I can't even play this.
Yeah.
I'm not sure there will ever be a point in my life where I'm like, let's dive into this, because I don't want to buy a game like this and get into it if I don't have the time at hand to actually commit to it. You know what I mean? I really want to commit to it. So I'm not even starting something like this.
I mean, I really don't think it's the time-sunk game like you think it is. Like, I don't think this is like a deep RPG. I think this is just a type of game with a lot of gameplay elements and like a lot to do. I don't think there's like necessarily a story that you have to follow, or I'm sure like, and the mechanics are definitely there. Like Bruce also talked about how complex the fighting mechanics are. So maybe from that point of view, but it really does seem like one of those games that you can kind of, if it's still like in the back of your mind, you can kind of fire up and just do some stupid quests and stuff. It doesn't really seem to be like this. It's deep, I guess, for me, maybe from a gameplay angle. But even then, I feel like it's way easier to remember like certain gameplay elements and stuff than something like Path of the Righteous or whatever, which is this isometric, really deep game with like RPG and stuff. But this is just a slight pet peeve that I get is people keep calling it like an MMO RPG. Man, I'm so done with role-playing games being like it's not an RPG. If I can't make decisions and if I'm just some dude walking around making like, and people are like, oh, but you can steal. And it's like, I don't care. I'll just pay off my bounty and then I'm doing the main quest again. Like if I don't affect the main quest in any way, if I have like little to no effect on the story, then this is not an RPG. There's no role I'm playing other than a power fantasy.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I think the main character's name is Cliff. So that's cool.
Cliff Booth from not that guy. No, right.
They couldn't choose a name that really commands respect, like Matt Booty.
Matt Booty. It's too hot, bro. It's too hot, that name.
Too hot, too sexy.
It looks good. I mean, to be honest, the visuals, I like the visuals. I'd love to dive in and explore the world and just run around. But at the same time, I feel like looking at the gameplay now as well, it's like, I'm not even that motivated to find all this out. And I feel for me, this kind of open world exploration fantasy thing peaked with Skyrim. That's where I was really curious to explore the world.
Disagree.
Okay, fair enough. I never played Breath of the Wild, right? I'm not a Nintendo kid, so I never played that game.
Get a Switch, man. It's like $200 now. It's fine. You can afford it.
Nah, but no, I can't. I can't afford it.
Get it. Come on.
Have you seen the numbers of this podcast?
Get it for your kids, and then steal it from them.
No, I can't do it. Can't afford it, Breath of the Wild. And you can't even get this anymore anyway. You don't get a copy of Breath of the Wild anymore. As far as I know.
Whatever, you can get Tears of the Kingdom. Who cares?
Something like
that. Get one of them.
Yeah, but it looks good. Okay, like Crimson Desert looks good. I am somewhat excited.
I mean, I have a question. I have a quick question if you want to end, I guess, discussion for you is, are we too old for games like this? Or is this game, is it, hold on, is it a moment of like, well, we've played, this looks like 5 different games I've played already, so why would I play it?
Yeah.
Is it that kind of scenario? Or is it just like, I'm too old?
No. It is what we talked about earlier as well for me. It is the absolute peak that we've reached for gaming. We've done everything, every single mechanic, every type of enemy, every type of environment. We've been there before. It's been done. So I don't think we're too old for gaming necessarily. It's just that too much stuff is the same and it's a dull thing. And also it's ironic that you say you're too old for gaming because you're like 14 years old. So that's
true.
Yeah.
True.
So that doesn't make any sense.
Just about to enter high school, bro.
Yeah, I know. So no, I don't think. I mean, it is to an extent, right? You get older a bit, you get more bitter and stuff. But no, again, I think we're stagnating. The games industry has stagnated now for almost 10 years. Everything is the same. Everything is a reheated version of stuff we've seen before, and it shows. It shows, right? The only thing we get now is maybe a game like Marathon, with a slight twist. Oh, it's an extraction shooter, and they put bold graphics on it.
Looks
That's
cool.
it. It looks cool. It's got
that's it.
It's got cool graphic design. That's our new feature. It's like, no, it's still the fucking same thing. It's so stupid.
Yeah.
So I think that's what it is. It's a fatigue. It's a general fatigue. If you do the same thing over 10, 15, 20 years, at some point you're like, it's fun, but anything else there, maybe? So... yeah, I don't know where we can go from here. We got AI.
As we go on,
we got DLSS.
Yeah, as we go on, Voss from Far Cry 3's quote of insanity only gets stronger and stronger.
Yes,
as time goes on.
That's really what it is.
Yeah.
Doing the same thing and hoping for different results. It is, it is the games industry. But the good news is, it gives us loads to talk about, and we're gonna be back in 2 weeks from now. True. Okay, 2 weeks from now we're doing the next episode. So smash like on this one, share your thoughts down in the comment section below. We have now run out of time officially, but I thought it was fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We see you in 2 weeks. Smash like, subscribe. Bye.
Bye.